up now. Listen up.
3, 2, 1.
It's showtime.
That's great.
This is ridiculous.
99.3 The Truth.
You can't handle the truth right now.
Ooh.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Let's do it.
Hit it.
It's time for Mac's World.
And here we go.
Everybody, let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
Call Mac 244-0077 or text 809-0993.
It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Exclusively on 99.3 The Truth.
Well, this is Frank's World, and as you can tell, Mac McCoy is a man of his word. If you're a regular listener of the show, the other day Mac said that Frank will be running the show, and here I am. And got Kevin Johnson on the phone ready to talk, and just wanted to give out the call number here. If you want to join the conversation, I want you to feel welcome, and I want you to call 515-244-0077. It's your voice we want to hear. And if you would like to text us, I'm trying to follow the text, and so far I don't believe I have any. But if you would like to reach us on the... Oh, okay, I think I do have a new one from Farmer Dave. But if you would like to reach us on the Service Legends Truth text talk line, that would be 515-809-0993. And of course,
I do have a couple chats as well.
Okay, and we'll get to those chats in a second. And Big Dan over at First Call Bail Bonds wants to remind you not to text and drive. So let's bring Kevin on. Kevin, how you doing today? Thanks for joining me.
Hey, it's good to be here, Frank. I always enjoy talking to you, whether by phone or on the air, and we ought to be a good time.
Well, I know you would have loved to come in, but it was too short a notice to get you in here on person, so second best is to have you on the phone, and I appreciate you as a brother in Christ, and we've had some good talks.
We have. We have.
We've had it on politics and pastors who like to tickle ears, and we've had some fine talks on prophecy and scripture and a lot of things going on right now. But Kevin, hang on a second, because I want to get to some chat that
Sure.
Jeb would like to...
This is from Bob, and he's saying that we have breaking news. The FBI is reopening its investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of private email servers, according to a congressman.
Hey, Kevin, I heard that on Michael Brown today. Did you hear that news, and what's your reaction?
I did hear it, and in fact, I don't often get to hear Michael's program, but I did today because of my schedule, and I'm really intrigued. I hope something comes out of it this time, honestly, because, no matter what someone's persuasion, and Dr. Brown said this, we all ought to agree that we want everything out in the open about these candidates on both sides, and so I hope that happens.
Well, Kevin, does it speak to the fact that the stench must be getting so bad that they can't ignore it?
Well, I tell you what, it's very possible. It's very possible, and I think there's been such a hue and cry from the public that maybe, and this is quite a concept, but maybe some of these people are actually going to be doing their jobs. And maybe, the Teflon on the Clintons is getting just a bit thin.
Well,
maybe that's what's happening.
Kevin, if there would have been any true investigation, they would have given some people some immunity to talk about and rat out the big dog. And instead of ratting out the big dog, they just wrote people a bunch of immunities and allowed them to bust up their computers, and nothing got solved.
Yeah. And of course, we know that there are... there are multiple realities when it comes to, politics. So you or I, or any other citizen, if we had done some of the things that have been done on the public level, we'd be in prison right now, pure and simple.
Okay.
And so,
Well, thanks, Kevin. Hang on here a second. I got a text from Farmer Dave, and Farmer Dave is one of our regular listeners, and Farmer Dave says, "Hey, Frank, no matter what, Mac says you're doing a good job. Thumbs up. Keep it up." All right. Well, I don't know if you heard the first hour. You probably didn't. Kevin.
Yeah.
But this has been a hostile takeover of Mac's World. It's now called Frank's World today. And, of course, you know at Frank's World, it's party time. It's excellent. Party on, Jeb.
Party on, Frank.
Party on, Kevin.
Hey, I'm partying with you, man. I may not be there in the studio. I wish I was. I mean, I love being in the studio, but we're having a good time by phone here, so that's great.
Well, Kevin, I don't know if you heard, but even the church lady come in and had some things to say today.
Well, that's special.
Yes, that's special. I don't know if you heard, Kevin. Last hour, I was mentioning that that none other than the infamous Madonna. Now, this is reported on Facebook, so I'm not going. I don't know the veracity of this story.
Right.
But supposedly, Madonna reportedly was willing to offer a licentious act to a male or female if they would be willing to vote for Hillary.
I did hear that.
And
I did hear that.
I just found that outrageous that the left, who just seems aghast at the idea that Trump made these terrible locker room statements and in a private conversation, besides the fact that it was a private stolen conversation.
Yeah.
But the hypocrisy of the movie, TV, and music industry, the things they talk about in rap, the garden instruments they call their women. I mean, this stuff is tame to what Trump said, but, they're just aghast. And then here's Madonna, of all people, chiming in and wants to, put her 2 cents in of what she's willing to do to get Hillary voted in.
Yeah. Well, there's always a double standard, and it comes out all the time. People that cry about, for example, tolerance the loudest are typically the least tolerant, and those who are so aghast at the things that Mr. Trump said over a decade ago, I think it was Dr. Carson. He said that had those same statements been set to rap lyrics and a rap beat, it'd have been perfectly fine. So it really is a hypocrisy in all of this.
Well, Kevin, I don't think Jeb produced the shows when you were here before. I think Ryan was still here. So kind of introduce yourself to our listening audience. Give our audience a shameless plug, what you're doing, where you're preaching, where you're at, anything that you have going on. Give us some info about what you're doing and a plug if you need.
Sure, my friend. I appreciate that. Well, I am Kevin Johnson. I am a minister of the gospel and a Bible teacher. I have been for 37 years now, and I'm currently not serving in a pastoral capacity, but I am serving at a local church in Boone, Iowa, teaching a Bible class every Sunday morning, and also wrote a book a little over a year ago entitled A Journey to the End, Revelation Revisited. A Journey to the End, Revelation Revisited. That can be found at Amazon in ebook form. Encourage people to go out and check it out. We did a verse-by-verse study, in depth. There's over 500 pages in the book, so we did quite an in-depth study. And also, I can be found teaching on the web at pastorkj.wordpress.com. That's pastorkj.wordpress.com. So encourage people to head over there. We always put teachings there, but we're just out here trying to serve the Lord the best we can.
Well, Kevin, one thing that I've said, coming from the religious denomination and background that I've come from, we may not ultimately agree on the book of Revelation and Daniel in particular, too, but the point is the importance of its study. The book of Revelation is the only book in the Bible that I'm aware of that pronounces a blessing on those who read it.
Right. Yep. Not only those who read it, but those who hear it and those who obey it. There's a special blessing, and it's not to say that we elevate Revelation over the rest of the Scripture, but God Himself, Jesus, the head of the church, He set His blessing upon the reading and the studying and the obedience to that book. So it needs to be given attention. Absolutely.
Well, would you agree, as I do, that Genesis is a book of beginnings and Revelation is a book of endings?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but you see the curse in Genesis handed out on Satan, and you see the carrying out of the sentence in Revelation, and hence he has fought incessantly both books, and there's a reason for that. It's not accidental.
Well, yes, historians and atheist scholars and stuff have tried to bring up the veracity of the books, if they're even real, if, you know the spiel.
Yep.
Well, Kevin, I have a trigger question today, and I think I'll continue a little bit with the trigger question while you're talking. Mm-hmm. And see if we can generate some more callers into the show. But what I basically want to know, we had Richard call from Indianola. He's a well-spoken liberal leftist that just basically said that I want to hear the facts. I don't want to hear the salacious, and I'm old enough and smart enough to make up my own mind. And I can really appreciate a liberal like that, Kevin. I mean,
sure.
That it just doesn't follow the groupthink. But sure. But here's my question, Kevin, that I've been kind of offering up both hours, is the idea, if you are a ex-never Trumper, that means, keyword, you were a never Trumper. If you've changed your mind, like Michael Brown, Mark Levin, in the last couple of weeks, tell me when and tell me what changed your mind, and that's what caused you. And we've had several people today, 3 or 4 people that has called in that said they voted for Trump. We had Jeff, we had Gary Moon. I think we had one other that called in. But Kevin, we're just about to a hard break, so I need you to hold on till after the break, and we'll be back at 4:21. But this is Frank the Verse Thomas at Frank's World, and that is heard on 99.3 The Truth. And, of course, that is powered by Webcast One Live. And when we come back, we're going to pick up the conversation with Kevin, and we're going to talk a little Revelation, prophecy, and some symbolism, and establish some symbols to make the book of Daniel and Revelation more understandable. We'll be back at 4:21. Join us.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi. My name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcastonelive.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rock and Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
And we're back with Frank's World Live, and as you know, it's party time, and it's excellent. Party on, Jeb.
Party on, Frank.
Party on, Kevin.
Party on, Frank.
Well, Kevin, we have Kevin Johnson, Pastor Kevin Johnson from Boone, and he's our guest for the hour. We're going to talk a little Bible prophecy symbolism, and but until then, I want to get my trigger question out. Basically, I want you to respond to this question if you have time to pick up the phone and dial 515-244-0077 and talk to Jeb, and we'll get you on the air, and we'll have all of us comment on it. Jeb, Kevin, myself. But basically, the question would be, I want to know if you have been a never-Trumper, keyword were a never-Trumper, and you've changed your mind like Dr. Michael Brown and Mark Levin here in the last couple of weeks, and you've cast a ballot for Donald Trump. I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to know when you changed your mind and what caused you to change your mind, because it's getting down to crunch time, isn't it, Kevin?
It is really there, yes.
Have you voted yet, Kevin?
I have not. I know our courthouse in Boone has some early voting. I've been thinking about going up there, but I have not at the moment. But I am going to be voting. I can promise you that.
Yeah. Well, last Monday, I delivered my mother's and my sister's ballots down to the Polk County election office, hand delivered, so that there would be no mistake that they got there. So we have our votes in, and let's just say our house is going to stand for Donald Trump.
Hey, all right. Sounds good to me.
So, but I would like to hear from anybody out there. I'd like to hear from you on the chat line, and that's the Service Legends Truth Text Talk line, and that is at 515-809-0993. And we have Kevin on the phone, and Kevin, we don't have a lot of time to really get into an extensive study of the book of Revelation, but I wanted to go over some Bible symbols and some things so that, in the future, lay some groundwork so that we might get involved in some Revelation Daniel studies and laid out some groundwork. And so the books aren't that hard to understand if you understand the symbolism, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. The symbolism is key, absolutely.
Well, for example, let me ask you this. Is it widely accepted that in prophecy, generally speaking, a day spoken of in prophecy stands for a year? And I've got Ezekiel 4:6 and Numbers 14:34 that lays that out. Is that your understanding to unlock some of the prophecies and the revelations of Daniel and John? Is that your understanding?
Yeah, it really is. And now, there would be some exceptions to that, of course. But yes, widely speaking, oftentimes, and specifically in prophetic literature, that's what you're talking about. Often a day, would equal a year, and so forth. For example, I guess we would just say, rather than dig into it too much right now.
Well, now let me ask you this based on that question. When the Bible talks about times, and dividing of times, is it again widely accepted that a time is a literal 360-day year?
Yes, but by Jewish reckoning, it would be a 360-day year. And when you see that phrase, when you see that phrase in Scripture, time, times, and dividing of time, for example, that is typically understood. A time is a year. Times would be multiple years. And so when you see that phrase, time, times, and dividing of times, it's usually understood as 3.5 years. In that, for example, that phrase.
Kevin, we have a call. I don't know who it is, but do you have them on solid blue there, Jeb? Welcome to Frank's World Live. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Donna from What's Here.
Okay, how you doing, Donna?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, Donna. How's it going for you today?
Well, you heard about what the FBI said today. They were going to investigate Miss Clinton on them emails.
Yes.
Well, I don't think anybody has really discovered the true crime that this woman has committed.
And Donna, what would that be?
Well, she writes with her right hand, and then later on she writes with her left. And we don't know if she's right-handed or left-handed. We got to know whether she's right or whether she's left, because that's just a deception of the American people.
Well, what do you think about that, Kevin?
Well, when you talk about the word deception and you talk about Hillary Clinton, I think the two are synonymous terms. Typically, I have found if she is speaking, she's lying. That would just be my position.
So if she's breathing, she's lying.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you think of that, Donna?
Well, I just want to know if she's really right-handed or left-handed. Doesn't that mean something to you, Mr. Frank?
Well, do you have any photos that we can verify that she's been writing ambidextrously with both hands?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's have some. I will get my top reporter on that, and we'll start digging and delving into that subject, because this is a travesty if she's lying to us about being a lefty when she's really a righty. Now, she said she was a New York Yankees fan, and that was a complete crock when she grew up a Chicago, I guess, White Sox fan. So she's got her foot in both sides of Chicago there. So maybe there's something to your left-handed, right-handed thing, Donna.
Well, the whole Benghazi thing, I mean, who really cares? And the email thing, all right, already. But, right hand, left hand, are you a righty or a lefty? I think that's important to the American people. And I'll hang up and listen for your answer. God bless.
All right. Thank you, Donna, for calling us and giving us that piece of advice that we're going to do some real journalism on. And like Donna, if you would like to call all the way from Montezuma, that would be you call at 515-244-0077 and get a hold of Jeb. And like Donna, we will get you on the air. Kevin, can it get any worse? We don't know if she's left-handed or right-handed now.
Yeah, I mean, what's left? I mean, there's just really nothing left, and no pun intended there. But in all, and I think maybe there was some humor in that call. But all kidding aside, we really don't know where she stands. She stands whichever way which is a typical political thing, especially in the liberal camp, but politics in general, it kind of goes the way the wind's blowing.
Well, do you find, Kevin, in your experience, and you've probably got the same length of experience that I have with the Clintons, is trying to pin the Clintons to a issue about like trying to pin Jell-O to the wall? Yeah,
and you're not going to get very far. Jell-O is very difficult. In fact, I don't know anyone who's ever done it. That would be a neat experiment, actually, if we could, I think maybe it would depend on how firmly set the Jell-O was, but at time of said, nailing attempt. But, it'd probably be the same experience, I imagine.
Well, if you'd like to join Kevin and I and Jeb here at Frank's World, and we have a good time here at Frank's World, it's Party Central, man. It's excellent. I mean, Ron Carlson and Chris Roloff don't know what they're missing. Roloff, he's out trunk or treating or something. You open up your trunk and kids come around and get candy out of it, and Ron had to bail. We're just having a barrel of laughs here today, Kevin. And so let's pick up a little bit more. I'm going to throw out the question again, and then I'm going to continue with you on some Bible symbolism and prophecy. I would like to know, any listeners out there, if you've come to the revelation in the last couple of weeks and you were once a never-Trumper and you've seen the light for whatever reason, I want to hear from you today. I want to hear when you changed and why you changed, because it's getting down to crunch time, and I'm going to ask Kevin here in a little bit how he thinks Trump or Hillary may play into Bible prophecy. But right now, Kevin, let's just continue with a few things to kind of establish some symbols in prophecy to make the study of Daniel and Revelation more fun. Now, when Bible prophecy talks about a woman, and they usually talk about a pure virtuous woman, or they talk about a harlot, not a good woman, a woman of ill repute. Generally speaking, in Bible prophecy, when it says woman, what does it mean?
Well, typically in Bible prophecy, when you have a woman who is referred to as a harlot, for example, typically that is a religious symbol. It usually refers to like a religious entity, an impure religious entity. Now, you have a virtuous woman that's also portrayed that way. For example, the church is known as the bride of Christ, and it's portrayed as a virtuous woman in sparkling white garment, beautifully adorned. So those symbols play in there, and they usually have a religious or spiritual significance to do with some religious entity or group.
So would it be safe to say to simplify what you just said, because I understand it, but could we just say that a woman in prophecy is generally a church? So if you have a pure woman, it's the pure church, and if you have a scarlet, apostate, harlot woman, it's a apostate church.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. When the Bible talks about beasts, to your knowledge, what is generally a beast?
Well, a beast, when that, and I think we should just back up just a second and mention why the apocalyptic writers or the writers of prophecy use symbols. And there's a couple reasons, not the least of which is that those who are seeking truth will seek out the symbol and learn the truth. The other thing is those messages were originally given in a hostile land for the most part, or in a hostile government, and they were veiled in symbolism to protect the message. So that said, going back to the beast, a beast typically is either a evil leader, can be used that way, or a beast is a corrupt political system,
such as a kingdom, a government, a political power.
A kingdom, government, political power. Yes.
Okay. Well, to support what you were saying, in wartime, people transmit messages in code.
Yes.
And one of the things that is key to understanding those messages is being able for someone to decipher or break that code.
Right.
And so Satan probably thought he was pretty cute and pretty funny, and some people probably thought it was the writings of a heretic or a lunatic that the book of Revelation got allowed in the Bible. But little did they know that this wasn't the musings of a lunatic. There was serious stuff to be found out here. Kevin, hang on after the break. We're coming up on a hard break, and we'll rejoin the conversation with Kevin Johnson, pastor in Boone, Iowa. And you're listening to this conversation on 99.3 The Truth. And, of course, that's powered by Webcast One Live. And when we get back, we're going to pick up some more symbolism with Pastor Kevin. Join us after the break.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Homs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money-back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed right or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money-back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
And as you can see, this is Frank's World Live today with the hostile takeover here at Webcast One Live. One thing about J. Michael McCoy, he's a man of his word. He said that Frank was going to be in charge, and voila, Frank's in charge today. Now, if you would like to join the conversation, you can do that by text or by chat. And I just so happen to have a text. And that text number is the Service Legends Truth Text Talk Line. And that's at 515-809-0993. And you kind of, if you're, for those of you in Rio Linda, it's 0993 because that's the numbers of our station, 99.3. You get it? And obviously, if you want to call and get on air with us, that's 515-244-0077. And be sure and tell Jeb what you want to talk about. We'll get you on the air. Now, Kevin, I think this might interest you. I don't know if I ought to tell Donna or not. Donna might get a little upset about this text. I'm not sure. But Donna, if you're listening out there, and you're easily offended, you better close your ears, Donna, all the way over there in Montezuma. I think is where she said she was from. But somebody sent us a text, Kevin, and said, I'm wondering what side of Donna's brain malfunctioned, the left or the right.
Ouch.
Ow!
It's pretty harsh.
Wow. Man.
Yeah, that's really, that's putting it out there.
Well, Kevin, did you happen to see the way Newt Gingrich give a little certain type of put a certain Fox announcer in her place the other night? Did you happen to catch any of that?
I watched that. I did, and of course we don't want to mention that was Megyn Kelly, but yeah, that was epic. I've always respected Newt, but my respect level for him went up many, many points. I think that it was just epic, and I loved it. I really did.
Yeah, I enjoyed that immensely. The idea that we don't talk about issues in this country. Richard, that called the last hour, was mentioning how we don't talk about issues. His main thing and his main push for his call is quit talking this salacious stuff. Quit going to the gutter And let's talk some real issues, because we got some real challenges ahead of us in this country, Kevin.
We do. And, and that was one of the things that, I've been thinking this whole cycle. This is, I don't remember a presidential cycle that's been quite like this one. And, the salacious stuff, it's been out there. And honestly, on both sides. And I think that, the American people are concerned about their health care. They're concerned about affording it or even having it. They're concerned about, paying their bills, feeding their, the things that concern the average person out here. And we want to know, what these elected officials are going to do, because they work for us. They're supposed to, and should be addressing these things.
Okay, Kevin, let's, in the interest of time, we don't have an abundance. I'd love to have had you the 2 hours, and I think you would have obliged if you would have been free. But for the shortness of time here, because I want to get to the final segment, I want to have you kind of lay out some of your thoughts and ideas about how Trump or Hillary may or may not play into end times prophetic prophecy.
Sure.
But, here's something that I'll just throw at you. When the Bible says, come out of Babylon, the great city is fallen, do not drink the wine of the wrath of her fornication, break down, in essence, what that's warning Christians. Because there's true believers in every denomination. There's people who God's going to call out to be his people. And this is a dire warning. This is a last day message for the people. Come out of Babylon. Don't drink the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So what is the cup of wrath? What's the fornication? What is Babylon? Can you kind of break this down a little bit for us?
Yeah, I do my best, Frank. Babylon, as I see it, I think we've maybe touched on it, but Babylon in that context speaks of a false, apostate, what I would refer to as a one-world church. I believe I know who and what will head it up, but it's going to be made up and is being made up as we speak of every world religion, and the message we're hearing is, lay aside your differences. Let's all coexist. Let's all blend the world's religions. Let's focus on humanity. So Babylon is really a last days apostate amalgamation of all kinds of religions and religions, minus evangelical Christianity that says there's only one way to heaven, and that's through Jesus Christ and his finished work on Calvary. But it'll be a mix of everything else. So that's Babylon, this religious conglomeration of every kind of thought you can think of. Then God's wrath, that cup of that wine, the cup of his wrath, God's wrath is against that, and his wrath's going to be poured out on it, and he's going to judge it. And so this is what we see, and we have and I'm trying to be delicate about it. But
sure, Kevin, and we need you to be politically correct here.
Yes, I always try to be that, and anybody who follows me on Facebook knows I'm a very delicate individual and try to really be politically correct. But
like a bull in the china shop now. Come on, Kevin.
All right, fine, but okay, I admit it. But at any rate, but we're seeing this, so we have Babylon, we have this religious mixture, we have this wrath of God being poured out, and that's what we see. It is a one day, it is a last days message, because those who are going to stand on the truth are going to increasingly be in the minority.
Well, when you say fornication, that would probably represent some sort of an illicit relationship between the church and state, or the church and the world.
Yes. I thank you for getting back to that, because that was escaping me. Yeah, but the fornication thing, absolutely, that would be a illicit spiritual relationship between the church and the world, and eventually probably the church and the state. I don't think there's any doubt of that.
And the wine, of the cup of wrath, or the wine that they're going to force every man, great and small, to drink, would be the false doctrine of this apostate one world order. Correct?
Yes, I believe so. And this is something God is going to judge. Revelation makes that very clear. In the time of the end, this false system, this false mixture, this illicit spiritual relationship, be called fornication spiritually, is going to face the judgment of God. No doubt about it.
So, in essence, Christians are going to be fornicating with a church or a God that isn't the true God, basically.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're coming up on a break here in about a minute, Kevin, so I want to hold you over, and I want to ask you, quickly, Babylon. Remind me to get to Babylon, because I want to ask you about Babylon. I'll write that down here. Okay. But we're going to go to a break here, and like Kevin, if you'd like to join the conversation, call 515-244-0077, and that's my question of the day, is basically, if you were a never-Trumper and you've changed your mind in the last little bit before the election, I'd like to know when you changed your mind and why you changed your mind, and you're going to vote for Trump. But you're listening to us here today in Frank's World, and you can hear Frank's World, which is Mac's World every day, but today it's Frank's World. And you can hear that on 99.3 The Truth, and that, of course, is powered by Webcast One Live. So when we come back, we will resume the conversation with Kevin, and I want to know about Babylon.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcastonelive.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
And we're back with Frank's World, and you're listening to us on 99.3 The Truth, and that's powered by Webcast One Live. I want to get to a quick text. I got a text that said, doing a great job, Frank. And then I got a second text from the same texter who said, Trump took us to the gutter. They're still hashtag Never Trump. So we respect their opinions. We respect all opinions here in Frank's World. So I don't necessarily agree with that opinion, but I would just say that we respect your opinion, and hopefully before crunch time comes, maybe something will be revealed to you that hopefully you'll get on board with Trump. But if not, we'll try to go with what we have. Kevin, before we went to the break, quickly, I want to give you some time to talk about Trump and Hillary and Bible prophecy, potentially or not. But Babylon, Babel, part of this religious, false, apostate system is going to be some characteristics because Babylon hadn't been around, for about 600 years when John the Revelator was speaking?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Why is John referring to some dead ancient civilization, basically? And what is it about Babylon? What's the characteristics of Babel or Babylon that may be manifest in this last day, one world order, one world church? What's that? Why is he saying Babylon?
Well, I think, interestingly enough, this last days one world church, as we're using that terminology, is going to resurrect, if we can use that terminology, is going to resurrect some of the old ancient errors and things that Nimrod, the founder of Babel in the Old Testament, taught and believed. So it's going to be bringing that back. Interestingly enough, and you don't really see this in the mainstream press, but people can Google this, and that is that there is a project right now. In fact, the late Saddam Hussein was involved with it to actually restore, if you will, the city of Babylon. The U.S. government has committed hundreds of thousands of dollars to this project. They want to make a theme park, and they want to bring this back. And so there's that aspect of it, but from a religious standpoint, the false doctrines, the false idol worship, the mentality that was seen under Nimrod is being brought back, and so that's why John uses that. It's going to be the same spirit.
Well, just kind of off the top of my head, I know it was a center of commerce, Babylon. Great center of commerce. So when the Bible talks about this power buying or restricting trade, buying and selling, obviously this power is going to be some worldwide have some worldwide ability to dominate our ability to buy and sell.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about it in the book of Revelation, going back to that symbolism thing, the Bible says that this scarlet-covered woman is seen riding the beast. And so the beast being the governmental power, the woman or the harlot being the religious power, it seems there will be a time when there will be this wedding, if we can use that term, of church and state, of this false religious system with this one world government. And for a time, the false religious system seems that will have control or sway, hence you see the woman riding the beast. She, at that point, is in control of it. She has sway. That will change, but there'll be that situation. We'll see the state and this false church working actually together.
So that's the fornication we're talking about. Clearly, if and let's bring Trump and Hillary into this conversation, because we've got roughly 4 minutes, 4 minutes to go. Trump and Hillary. So basically, if let's just say the United States is the main superpower out there, they may have some superpowers under them that may join forces to enforce a mark or to enforce a mark of allegiance to this Antichrist or whatever. But if the church is herding the state or riding the state like a beast, potentially is Trump or Hillary more likely to do that one than the other, or do you think it's meaningless who will be in it? Will just be if it's time God wants it to come to a head, whatever leader, Mormon, Muslim, whatever faith they are, it'll just get the job done? Or do you think Hillary and Trump will play something into the end of this?
I real quickly on that. I personally see Hillary as being of the same spirit, the same ideology as Barack Obama. There is a very definite prophetic program, and let's understand, God is sovereign. He has declared some things prophetically, and they're going to come to pass. He's going to see that to it that the person is in office that gets his prophetic program done. However, from a prophetic standpoint, from a one world government standpoint, I personally believe Hillary would be much more cooperative with that than would Mr. Trump.
Well, what if Trump, as some say, and Mac I think has said this, that he ends up being the president or the head of the UN, and he's got Hillary in the United States for his let's just say derriere puppet. Is that some lethal, toxic concoction that could possibly set these things into motion?
It could be. I mean, it could very well be. But you have to understand, Hillary and her ilk, and I'll use that terminology. They come from a globalist mentality, meaning that open borders. Absolving national sovereignty, whereas Mr. Trump has put forth a nationalist message, American greatness, America first, that type of thing. So you have those two philosophies dueling here.
Well, Kevin, we're about ready to wrap up, but let me quickly say the media should be all over the fact. Strobe Talbot says he's not a citizen of a state, a country, a city. He's the citizen of the world. He's been a Hillary Clinton advisor. So clearly she believes. But did you see how she artfully dodged the question in one of the debates by saying, oh, no, them emails, and she didn't deny the emails by matter of fact, but just simply said, oh, that's energy, that we don't want no borders for energy.
Yeah,
she wants total open borders. Don't you agree, Kevin?
Absolutely, she does, and has said that at other times.
Well, thanks, Kevin, so much for joining me today here on Frank's World Live, and I hope we can do this again. Hopefully, Mac will want to bust my chops some more in the near future, and I can do this again. But hopefully, we'll have you on again, Kevin. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good day.
All right. Well, this has been Frank's World, and I want to thank Mac for the opportunity, even though he busted my chops all week, to have this opportunity to do Frank's World. And I would say one thing, as Mac always says at the end of these shows: forgive as you want to be forgiven. Join us next week.